Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to get IPO data. The reason I get this data is because I have a list of ticker symbols that I keep track of, and I want to keep track of recent IPOs, their tickers, and other pertinent data that might be useful to analyze later. So far we're just going to need this package called JSON Lite. I'm going to write some helper functions, mostly regex and formatting and changing a couple of things. So I'm going to start off by writing this wrapper called format offer. I'm going to replace commas with empty spaces, and I'm going to call a function called format price, which we're going to build later, and passing that as well. The next function I'm going to build is called format shares. So we'll turn the shares into numeric by replacing the commas with empty spaces. I'm going to copy this function here. So here's our format price function. I'm going to replace any dollar signs with empty spaces. And then our last function, I'm going to format the date. So we'll use as character, and the format is its month, day, and 4-digit year. So these are our helper functions. Now we take a look at the actual website. Alright, so this is the data I want. I want to get this price table, the upcoming table, and the filings table. And as you see, they have these grouped by months. So we need to change our date to the month rather that we want to call. So I'm going to format today's date. So here I'm just formatting the dates to read year and month. So we'll run all these functions and format our date. So you see here our date is 2020-06. Now we're going to read our data by using read JSON. I'll post a link in the description area. We want to simplify vector, true. So I'll run this line. Now we have a list of 3 items. So I'm going to make this list into a data frame. So for the price, data, priced, and then the rows. So I put in this try function in case this priced list doesn't have any IPOs. It'll just get an error. So these are for our priced IPOs. Next I want to get the upcoming IPOs. Same thing, I'll use data, upcoming table, and rows. Next I want to get those that have filed. So I'll do data, filed, rows. They also have a withdrawn section. Any IPOs that have withdrawn will be placed here. That'll be data, drawn, and we'll extract the rows. So I'm going to run these lines. For the month of June, we have no withdrawn, so it didn't crash, but this list is empty. But we do have priced, upcoming, and filed IPOs. So we'll take a look at our priced. So this is where our helper functions are going to come in handy. I'm going to replace all the commas in this column change the date format, turn this column to numeric. So we're going to format these by running the following lines. Alright, so for each one of these, I'm going to test if it didn't produce an error and it's not null, then I'm going to do the following block of code. If not, it'll go to the next block. So I'm going to change the price date. And I'm going to format date. So I'm replacing the price date with my formatted date. Alright, so the next thing I want to format is the dollar value of the shares offered. So we'll use our helper function called format offer. And we'll paste this in there. The next thing I want to format is the shares offered. I'm going to format shares. And the other piece of information is the proposed share price. And I'll use format price. And then finally, I just want to extract certain rows. I don't want the whole data frame. So I just want the ticker symbol, the company name, proposed exchange, proposed share price, shares offered, price date, and the dollar value of shares offered. So we'll take a look at our price data frame now. And then we'll run this chunk of code. Now we'll take a look at our price data frame. So it's much neater. So we'll go on to the next data frame. So this block of code that I'm going to write is essentially the same thing, just formatting, but it'll be for the filed data frame. So I'll do filed, dollar value of shares offered, and format offer. Next thing I want is the file date. I'm going to format that date. And then the proposed ticker symbol. Sometimes they don't have a proposed ticker symbol displayed on the site, and they'll have this instead. So they'll display an NA, but that's not readable by R, so I'll just replace that NA with R's type of NA. And that's for the proposed ticker symbol. Same thing as our priced IPOs, I just want to extract certain columns. And those columns are the following: proposed ticker symbol, company name, file date, and the dollar value of the shares offered. Alright, so our next block is going to be for our withdrawn data frame, if there is one. In this case, we don't have one, but just in case we did, I'm going to format this data frame. So we can do shares offered. I'm going to format shares. the dollar value of shares offered and format that. The next thing is the file date. And then the withdrawn date. I'll format the proposed ticker symbol as well. Copy this line. And then lastly, I just want to return certain columns. And then those columns are the following. And then lastly, we'll do the upcoming data frame. So for the upcoming, we want to format shares offered, format shares, and then the expected price date. We'll want to format the date. And then the dollar value of shares offered. We'll format the offer. And the proposed ticker symbol. And then finally, just like the rest, I want to extract certain columns. All right, so we'll run these. So we'll take a look at our upcoming. So we have 5 upcoming, and they all have proposed ticker symbols, which is good. Take a look at our file data frame. Proposed ticker symbol. This one didn't have one. I have a database where I'll send these to, so that's why there's a lot of formatting involved. But you can also just export these as a comma delimited file, so you could keep track of these IPOs. And then the way I have this set up is you can just change the month that you want by replacing DT. And we'll call in January's IPOs, and then just rerun everything. So now we do have a withdrawn section. So let's take a look at that. So these are the companies that filed but actually withdrew their filings in January. So you can call previous months up to the current month, and you should be able to pull several years of IPO filings and their data. Alright guys, so let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.